Hi there, Phil Simborg from Chicago, and I got one of these cube problems here. It's not really a cube problem yet. What's going on here is that I'm red. This came up in a match in Chicago recently, and I was red. My opponent was white, and it's a match to 7, and he's winning 2-0. So he's 5 away. I'm 7 away. I'm holding a 2 cube, and I'm not very happy here. I'm about to get gammoned when a wonderful, wonderful thing here. The dice god smiled on me and gave him a 5-2, maybe even a 6-2, I'm not sure. But it gave him something high with a 2. And of course, he had to take off a checker. And with the 2, he had to leave me a double shot. So here I was, and looking at his face, you would have thought that the world came to an end. Here he was, breezing home, happy to beat me. I have a fun relationship with this guy, and we joke around a lot, and it wasn't too long before that I really jokered him to win a match that I shouldn't have won, and now he's about to clobber me, and this happens to him. So he was really visibly upset. I think he was almost going to need a bucket or something. But I'm sitting here thinking about the cube, and I know there was a time in my career it would never occur to me to be thinking about the cube here. I know what to do at different scores. For example, if it was a 5-point match here, if I get gammoned here and I lose the match, there's no question I'm going to double now. Because if I miss, I'm going to get gammoned and lose the match. And if I hit, I probably win. You don't win all the time when you hit, but I'm highly favored to pick up both checkers if I hit 1. And if I hit both, I'm a monstrous favorite. And if I only hit 1, I'm still a pretty big favorite in the game. Remember, a closed board and 8 checkers off for him is about a 50-50 game if I have a perfect bear off. So even if I hit 1 checker, I'm going to be in pretty good shape. But unfortunately, it wasn't 3 away, 5 away. It was 5 away, 7 away. So if I redouble and I miss, if I don't redouble and I miss, he doesn't win the whole match. He wins 4 points and it goes to Crawford. He's 1 away and I'm 7 away. You know, I don't like my odds at 1 away, 7 away against anybody. The match equity table puts me at around 9% chance to win. I like my odds better by cubing here. I wasn't sure it was a cube. As a matter of fact, there are many times where I hit and just save the gammon and still don't win. And it is conceivable that I could miss and still save the gammon. He might roll a 1 here, and I might get another shot. What happens if he rolls a 5-1, 6-1, something like that? I could easily get another shot. He gets another couple checkers off, and I just save the gammon if I hit it. So it's probably wrong to double, I think, but I put a big smile on my face, and I give him the cube. And actually, all this thinking happened in nanoseconds. Actually, it took him a long time after he rolled his 6-2 to pick up the dice, and that whole time I'm thinking about whether I'm going to double or not. So as soon as he picked up his dice, almost immediately I just doubled. And he said he cursed his luck, and I said, yeah, I'm sorry, you were really unlucky there. And I gave him all the sympathy I possibly could, and he dropped. Well, as you can imagine, I was very happy to get the drop and be tied in the match, and of course I went on to win the match because I deserved it because he dropped his cube. I made a horrible double here. Horrible. 0.14 mistake. I really didn't think it was a double. I really thought it was a much bigger mistake than that. Give him 1 more checker off, and it would be a very big mistake. But look how big a mistake it was for him to drop. And lots of people drop, especially right after a really bad roll or after a really bad sequence. The anger, the depression, the disappointment all set in. There is a human factor that XG does not understand at all. And this is the poker element of backgammon. And I must tell you, I wasn't sure he was dropping. I had an inkling that might happen. I was hoping that would happen, but I would have been surprised. But this one actually wasn't a very bad double, but I would have doubled even if he had 1 more checker off. Let's give him 7 checkers off instead of 6 checkers off. Now I know it's going to be a pretty big mistake. A 7% error. I'm willing to make that error for a 5% chance that he might drop. If I can only get 5% of my opponents to drop this cube, I more than overcome this blunder of giving the cube. And what if he does take it? What have I given up if things go wrong? I've given up 9% equity. I don't mind giving up 9% equity for a chance to gain 120, I don't even know how to tell you what this is, 1.27 equity. That's a hell of a gain. 127% error, I think, is what that amounts to, or something like that. They're numbers that are beyond my comprehension. But this is why backgammon is so much fun to play live, people. If you just play extreme gammon all day long, or play against the bots, or even playing people online that are faceless people that you don't know and you can't read their expression and can't apply any of your psychology and philosophy to the game, it's just nothing like live backgammon. If you live in a place where you can get access to live tournaments, weekly tournaments, or a club, I urge you to do it. It adds a dimension to the game that you can't imagine. Unfortunately, some people live in areas where there are no live games and they can't get to a live game, and online is all they've got, and there's no way to get to tournaments. But if you can find a way to save up a little vacation money and make it to a major tournament sometime, you will really have fun. It is a different dimension, and it does affect how you play and your cube and checker play decisions as far as who's sitting across from you. That's why, again, it's also not fair to analyze people's skill based on their PR rating from live matches, because even the best players, even when they're playing another very good player, are often trying to decide, is this a good cube to pressure my opponent? Is this the kind of a cube where, yeah, it's probably a take, but I don't want to take it because it's a simple racing game and I don't want to do that at this score with this opponent. So the PR is only a measure of how you're playing if you were playing a bot. And we play bots differently. If you really want to measure the pure skill level or knowledge of a given player, you would have to put him against the bot and see how his PR plays there, where he is going to assume that his opponent never makes a mistake. And by the way, if you're going to play XG at the higher levels, you can make that assumption. I hope this was instructive and fun for you, but one other thing. I hope this reminds you that sometimes cube decisions are counterintuitive. Sometimes the correct decision, remember, if the score, if this had been to a 5-point match, this would be a big mistake not to double. 38% error not to redouble here. You got nothing to lose. You're going to lose the match if you don't hit, and you got a very, very good chance if you do hit. In fact, you'll be highly favored after you hit here. You're almost 48% here. Now, once you hit, your equity skyrockets in this game, and you'll be sick that you didn't cube because you've lost your market. If you wait and you hit and then you double, he's dropping, and you're going to win 2 points instead of 4. And if you don't double and you don't hit, you lose the match anyway. So you have to be on your toes in this game. Nothing is automatic. You have to be thinking every single roll about the cube. Every single roll is a cube decision. If you roll quickly, you've made a decision not to double. At least make it a conscious decision. Thanks for watching. Phil Simborg for the USBGF. Bye-bye.